So now the interesting part of turning on and off your computer is there is a battery that's inside your computer. Now, most computers today have what's called a lithium ion battery. That uses a certain amount of cycles. So every time you plug your charger in, it starts charging it up. Once it gets to 100%, that's a cycle. Goes back down to 99%, that's a cycle because it's trying to get back up to that 100%. It goes down to 74%. You plug it up, it goes from 74 to 100. That's typically a cycle. So in that time frame, they've got about 5,000 to 10,000 life cycles, depending on what battery you have. So if you leave your computer plugged up, it's slowly draining all of those cycles. So what I tell people and what I would tell you is only charge your computer when you're at 20%, 10%. Same goes for your phone or your iPad or whatever you're using. Is let that battery drain down a little bit. It's going to help you in the long run. It's going to give you a longer lasting battery life because more than likely you either are this person or you know this person that their battery is so drained from being plugged in all the time that they have to carry their charger with them whenever they want to use their computer. If they want to use their computer, they have to find an outlet to plug it into. That's basically having a desktop. It's not a laptop anymore. It's not portable. It's not as professional looking having that plugged in all the time. So I implore you to seek to only charge up your computer when you have 20% or less. Now, if you're going on a trip or something like that, I get that. But now, the next thing that I want to discuss is why does it say that I need to restart my computer? Or what does it mean to put my computer to sleep? Those are both great questions. And when it comes to maybe updating your computer or doing certain things that require a restart, that just means that the computer is going to shut down. It's going to install the proper equipment that it needs to inside the computer, and then it's going to reboot itself. You don't have to do any other work. It is going to do everything for you. You just have to hit the restart button and then let it do its thing. Now, it's a little bit different from sleep, because sleep, what that entails is you're literally just putting your computer in a locked mode. So what that does is it keeps other people from, like, let's say I wanted to, I was at a coffee shop and I was working on a project. If I'm getting up to go get my coffee, I don't want somebody to just walk up and log onto my computer or put something on there that I don't know about, but I don't want to shut down my computer completely. So what am I going to do? What I'll do is I can go to either, if I'm on a Windows computer, I would go to the bottom left-hand side of the screen. There is a little window pane. I would click on it, and then there's a section that says Power. Right there, there is a button that says Sleep. So when you click that button, it gives you the ability to come back to your computer, mash a button, type in your password, and get right back to work where you were before. Now, in that instance, if you are getting up and you are getting ready to leave and you don't think that you're going to be using your computer for that day or at least 7 to 8 hours, I would go ahead and turn your computer completely off. Now, you can do that a few different ways. You can do that by holding down the power button, which is the most aggressive way to do it. You could go up to the bottom of you can go to the top of your computer. If you're using an Apple product, click on the Apple icon, scroll to the bottom and click shut down. Or if you're using a Windows computer, you can click on the bottom left-hand corner, scroll up and click on shut down. Now, I've often had people curious on, is it best to shut down? My thing is are you more worried about saving battery life, or are you more worried about protecting your computer over the long run? And so if you're going to be away from your computer for 7 to 8 hours, don't see yourself using it, I say go ahead and shut it down. You can pick it back up tomorrow, and we'll get started on a few other things. So the next thing I want to talk about is how do you know that you are connected to Wi-Fi? Now, I'm going to share my screen with you to kind of show you what that looks like and how I know that I'm connected to Wi-Fi. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this, share screen, and I will share this bad boy. So if I click here, so if I look here at the top of my screen, I can see that I have Wi-Fi turned on and that this one particular spot is illuminated. Now, if I look, there's also a lock. Now, if I'm just looking at this from a particular standpoint, I can see that this right here is all lit up. It is boldened in black. And so I can tell that I am connected, but if I wasn't sure, I could see right here that this item right here is highlighted in blue. Now, if you're on a Windows device, that Windows device is going to look a little bit different. Windows device, there is a section in the bottom right toolbar. That bottom right toolbar will have a little icon. It'll either be a little earth or it will have a Wi-Fi symbol. When you click on that, it will pop up a whole list of connected of Wi-Fi routers or Wi-Fi signals that are available in your area. So for you, you want to look at it and say, which one is mine? If you don't know, I would go check your router. Now, what is a router? I've actually got an older one here. If I were to unplug the current one that I'm using, you wouldn't be able to see me because that's how I'm connected to the internet. So this is an older model. And so what is interesting about this is I will show you a few different things on it, the back pieces of it, everything like that. But this particular router gives us the ability to connect to the internet. So it takes a router and a modem. Now, I'm sure you're gonna ask, what's the difference between a router and a modem? Which one do I need? How do I know I have which one? And it's different for every person. So if you do have questions about that, please leave them in the comments, or maybe give me like an email address or something I could reach you at. And I would love to talk to you about it and maybe diagnose what you've got going on there. But for today, we just want to talk about how do I know that I'm connected to Wi-Fi? So what you would do is you would click on where you find your Wi-Fi connection, either on a Mac like I did earlier, or in the bottom right-hand toolbar on your Windows machine. Now, I know a lot of people said, Christopher, what about tablets? And we're going to get into tablets soon. I promise. I promise we will. But right now we're just talking about computers. So if you're in a Windows computer and you click on the bottom right-hand toolbar and you click on the network and properties and things that you see on the side, it will give you a list of different networks that are available. Now, once you find your own, you should be able to see whether or not it says connected or not connected. It will probably also say secured or not secured. So once you click on yours, you'll need to find your Wi-Fi password or your network key. Now, in that instance, how do you find that? Where do I get that information? Now, most people, most consumers, they use the router modem combo that comes with their internet provider. Now, there's pros and cons to that, but today, if you have a router modem combo that your internet provider has given you, then you're in luck. There's a lot of pros to it, a lot of good things to it. And so one of them is they actually have a system that's built in that when you set it up, they can tell you what your Wi-Fi password is. You can call in and ask. You can go online and check what it is. And if you guys want to see what that looks like, I'd be happy to show you. We can even do that in the next lesson. that's something that you're interested in. But not only that, but also on a lot of routers that are given to you by your internet service provider is written on the box. So if you go to the box, you can actually see the name of your network and the name of your password. And so if you don't have that written down, if you haven't changed it, I'd highly recommend you write it down. And I also would highly recommend that you change it. So, but we can get into that at a later date. But next question is how do I know I'm getting what I'm paying for? So I'm going to share my screen once more. And what that's going to look like is this thing right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this thing called OOKLA speed test. ooklaspeedtest.com. I'm going to test what speed I'm getting currently. So what I'll do is I'll just hit go. What this does is don't worry about all these other ads and everything like that. But once you hit go, it will connect and let you know what your speeds are. So you can click here and it starts telling you, hey, this is the speed you're working with. Now, most of the time, if you're between 25 and 50, that's a pretty good speed for streaming certain things. Now, if you have multiple devices like I do, and you have multiple, and you're running multiple things, or you're streaming multiple things, or you're doing certain things like this, you want a little bit higher speed. And so we're paying for about 200 megabytes per second, and right now we're getting about 170. And so I'd say that's pretty good. We've got a higher upload speed, but yeah, that's where we're working at currently. And so what I would encourage you to do is try it out for yourself. Look at your internet bill and say, hey, how much am I paying for? Because if you're paying for 50 and you're getting 4, that's a problem. I've actually had a couple of clients who've contested it with their internet service providers and told them they didn't want to pay the bill because they weren't getting what was promised to them. And so they should be able to walk you through what's going on and make sure you feel confident with the things that are ahead. But if not, I'd love to take any phone calls or any emails, questions that you may have to help you on this journey to kind of get you where you want to be. So next thing I want to do is I want to go to the tablets real quick. And I want to talk about how do we turn those on? How do we turn those off? Should I get a tablet? Do I need one? Now, it also depends on what you do, what you're looking to do. And for me, I love a tablet. I think they're great. But also, if you're between the ages of 55 and 75, there was a research study shown that says people ages 55 to 75 actually enjoy using a tablet more. They find it easier to use and more intuitive. So if you're looking for something that surfs the web, who says surfs the web anymore? I guess I do. But for something that not only does email, you're able to play games, you're able to get all the information that you want. A lot of people do banking on their devices now, and just stay in touch with friends and family. A tablet is a great option. Now, currently I have the iPad Pro, and not necessarily something that everyone needs. If you are looking to buy a tablet, I highly recommend Apple's iPad that recently came out. It is, I believe, $329, and that is a full-fledged iPad. It will do everything that you want it to do, and it's great. But the one I use is a little bit higher end just because of what I do and what I'll need it for. So if we look here, right now my iPad is asleep or locked. So what this means is, forgive the fingerprints. I apologize. I actually use it. But so when I tap it, it wakes up. And so right now we can see that it is locked because there's a little lock. There's my little puppy dog right there. But the way that you can unlock it, now this one uses a face ID, so it scans my face, and now I'm able to get into it. But the way that we turn it on and off is more than likely there's a button. There's like a master button that is on every single tablet. That mine is actually at the top, and I can just hold this button down. And when I do, I can actually turn it on and turn it off. Now, with this particular model, it actually requires me to hold these two buttons, and it actually asks me to slide to power off. So with yours, more than likely, if you're using a Google tablet or an Android tablet, then you would only have to push that one master button. That one master button is going to shut it down completely, and you will be good to go. So now most tablets actually have a very good way of saving energy. And so my iPad has actually been on for a week since I've last used it, and it's at 72%. So that's pretty good. But so it's been on this entire time. So it saves a lot of battery. I think tablets are a great option for anybody. Next thing that I want to do is, how do you know if you're connected on your tablet? So just like we did on the computer, we want to go into our settings on the iPad. Let me see if I can do that on this StreamYard. Let me see if I can pull that up. Give me 1 second. Does not let me share. David, can you go ahead and pull this iPad out?
Hey, Chris, I think we lost your audio there.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Oh, it sounds so much better.
Oh, there I am. So what we'll do now is we'll just go into our settings. And then once we go to settings, there's actually a tab right here on the left-hand side. Now, this is going to be in almost every tablet that you see, is you can actually click on Wi-Fi. Once you click on Wi-Fi, you can see all the list of available networks here. And then if you see a check mark, like the one we see here, that means that I am connected. If I wanted to join a new network, I could click on said network, and it would ask me then for the password. For me, I'm going to stay connected to the one I'm currently on, but I want to make sure that you guys know how to connect. Now, what's interesting is a lot of people ask me is, hey, when I go to my friend's house, when I go to a timeshare that we may have, how do I get connected there? Just like you did on your computer, just like we did on the tablet. What we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go to our settings, or we're going to go to where our Wi-Fi is located. If we're on a Mac, it's going to be in the top right-hand corner. If we're on a PC or an Android tablet or anything of the sort, it's typically on the bottom right. And we'll click on network, and we should be able to see a list of available networks. Click on the one that we want, and then type in the password. Now, the key is to get the right password. It's often very easy to have a Wi-Fi password that we're not sure of. So a lot of people write when they see that there is a they see that there is a network. They go, Christopher, why is there a lock on it? And I say, because it's locked. You have to have the right key to get in. So if I invited David to come over to my house, but I didn't give him a key or I wasn't there, how would he get in? So I would need to give him the password to get in. So when you go somewhere, ask them for what the Wi-Fi password is. Now, another nifty thing is if you have an Apple device and you're friends with someone who is already on the network, there's a button that will show up on your friend's screen that says, share this password. So now, without you having to do anything, you could push a button that says, share my password, and wouldn't have to worry about a thing. So now, next thing I want to talk about is, how do you protect yourself? How do you, and I know some people, we're in the South. No, hey, easy. But how do you protect yourself when it comes to your computer security? How do you protect yourself against viruses or malware or any of the sort? So for me, with an Apple computer, there is a basically antivirus that's already pre-installed that they do to keep you away from a lot of viruses and things like that. But what I personally use is a thing called Malwarebytes. Now, if you've been following along, I've also mentioned this previously, but it is malwarebytes.com. And I'm going to get David to go ahead and put that up on the ticker, and I'm going to type it in so he can see exactly how it's spelled. Now, if you go there, there's actually a free version. If you'd like to pay for it, you can. I do believe it's about $15, but you can use the free version there, and it will definitely take care of you when it comes to malware. Now, when it comes to antivirus, there's tons of new ones that come out all the time. But the two that I've currently used or I've used recently are WebRoot and Norton. Now, WebRoot is a little bit more higher end. Now, Norton is going to be one that you typically have already heard of. But a lot of people will say, well, I have Norton through my internet provider, or I got Norton from a friend that did this. Don't do that. Don't do it. So Norton is about $35 when you buy it, and when you load it up onto your device, it will work the way it's supposed to work. If you get it from your internet service provider, it is very heavy on your computer and it will slow it down immensely. So you actually may have a fast computer and a fast internet, but it is your antivirus that is slowing your computer down. So be careful when it comes to those situations. So that's one of the things that I wanted to touch base on and say, hey, when it comes to how you protect yourself on your computer, that's one of the main things. Now, the next thing is how do I search on my computer and my tablet? So once again, we're just going through certain basics and we're revisiting them just because a lot of people may have not seen previous episodes. Now, I'm going to share my screen with you. And what this is going to do is it's going to show us what everything looks like and how we can search on our computers. So first, we're just going to do our computer, and then we can go into a tablet. But it's going to look essentially the same. So most of the time when you open up your computer, you're going to have a search engine of sorts. Now, if you've joined us in a previous episode, then you'll recognize why I'm using DuckDuckGo. For those who are very interested in their security and making sure that they are not tracked while using the computer, DuckDuckGo is a fantastic search engine that will help you in that entity of staying safe and untracked. So they value very much privacy. They value privacy very much. But the thing that I'm going to go into is I'm going to search for literally anything. So I can just type in tree. And when I type that and I hit search, it actually gives me the ability to search certain things. if I want to, I can do another search either here or I can do it up here. So if I go here, I can say, and we know that we're searching through DuckDuckGo because we can see the same icon here as we do here. So if I wanted to say, I'm looking for, which I'm not a Georgia Bulldogs fan, but don't hate me, I'm sorry, Georgia Bulldogs football, I could click there. And now I see the same information that I would see on Google. I see all the different things that I would see here. And I have the ability to find these without being tracked. Now, the other thing is it depends on what I'm looking for specifically. There's also multiple different categories. So now if I look here, I can see there's a few different categories up top. So maybe I'm looking for an image to make my background. So let's see. This guy looks like he's beating this dude up right here. So if I click on this, I can see more of this photo. So I have the ability to view it. I have the ability to right click on it and save the image, do a whole bunch of different things with it. But if I'm not looking to do that, maybe I'm trying to find a specific video. So then I can see that these are all videos that pertain to Georgia football. Now, with Valentine's Day just happened, I actually just spent a bunch of money on this girl I just started dating. And so maybe I'm looking for something where it comes to shopping. So for the Georgia football lover in your family, maybe you want to look at buying them something and you don't really know where to look. I can actually go here and I can see, hey, I could get this quick toss bulldog by Rawlings for $3, which that's pretty cool, I guess, if that's what you're looking for. But at the same time, I was able to find this without searching Walmart and Target and Best Buy and every single other thing that's out there. I was able to literally just type it in and it searched it for me. I was able to find things in a faster way than I typically would. So now I'm able to look at all these different things here by clicking on all, and it gives me my breakdown. It gives me recent news. It gives me videos. It gives me a whole gaggle of different things. But it depends on what you're looking for. Whether you want to search here or up here, you have that option. Now, if that's something that you really enjoy and you maybe want to come back to, on Chrome, it gives you the ability to bookmark this tab. So you can always come back to this specific spot. Now, the next thing is how do I do this on a tablet? Now, on a tablet, you're going to have your own web browser. And what a web browser is it is an application or a program that allows you to surf the web. So some people use Google Chrome, some people use Firefox. It'd be really cool if I had them just like show up in my hands. David, he's working on that. I know it. I know he is. But some people use Google Chrome, some people use Firefox, some people use Internet Explorer, some people use Safari. So if you're on an Apple product, then you're more than likely using Safari. But on almost every single one of these platforms, there's a search bar that is at the top. And depending on your search engine, that is how you are going to search. Now, why do I bring this up? Is because I think that overcoming your fear of technology and finding out what's important to you is going to be the key to your success with enjoying and being satisfied with technology. So overcome that fear. Type up what you're interested in looking for. There's a lot of things out there that I think are going to be super beneficial for you. Also, highly recommend that you try out some games. There was a recent study done by a particular Ivy League college. I don't remember which one offhand, but they noticed an increase in brain activity, memory retention, and overall happiness for seniors who actually played games on their technology. And so one that I'd highly recommend is Words with Friends. I currently play that with my parents, and it's a good time. We have a lot of fun, and it's basically online Scrabble. And so, it's a great way to play with friends and hang out. But a few other things that we have listed in our time is where are you saving your information? So when it comes to your email, when it comes to your documents, your folders, your files, your photos, where's that information being saved? Now, your emails are already saved on your server, and that's not going to go anywhere unless you delete them off the server. But your documents, your folders, your files, your photos, a lot of F's in there. Is that being saved to your iCloud? Is it being saved to OneDrive? Is it being saved to other places? You tell me. Now, what I always recommend to every single person who buys a computer is one of these guys. And it's basically just a giant flash drive, or as some people call it, a thumb drive. It's basically a giant thumb drive. And so it's known as an external hard drive. Now, you can buy these at Walmart, Best Buy, Target, Office Max, Office Depot, whatever is in your area. You have the ability to buy those, and they run typically around $60 to $100. And so depending on the size of your computer and how much you want to back up, having a external hard drive is going to be super beneficial. So I have two of these. One of these goes with me and stores information and data, and the other one I keep in a fireproof safe. So this one backs up my computer once a week, and the one that I have in the safe backs it up every 3 to 6 months. So I have a reminder on my calendar, and it tells me, hey, it is time to back up your computer. Now, that sounds very crazy, and it sounds hard. And what's the point? And the thing is if I changed a period on my Word document, then when I plug this guy in, it will back up the entire computer, even if the only change is a period. And it will make sure all of it's there. And if I lost my computer, if it got broken, if it decided to take a swim, anything of the above, I would have the ability to take one of these, plug it into my new computer, and I would have everything that I had before. All my folders, all my photos, all my files, as organized as I already had it. It would look the exact same. And so for most of us, a lot of data is now going on to technology. And so having that information and being able to recall it is very important. Now, some people like to use online entities to back up their information. That's totally okay. You can do that. I'm a little paranoid, and so I like to have the online version and the hard copy. And so this is your hard copy. So, when it comes to backing up your computer, what you can do, depending on what you have, it's different for everybody. But if we just talk about a Mac computer, you would just plug it in, set everything up. It'll prompt you once you get on the screen, and it would say, hey, would you like to use this to back up your computer? You say yes, and then every time you plug it in, it will back up your computer. I plug mine in about 9 o'clock and let it run overnight, and then I unplug it when I wake up the next morning. So I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to do anything. It just automatically does it for me. So when you set yours up, please let me know how it goes. If you have any questions or concerns, I would love to know. But I think that a lot of people think it's difficult to back up your computer or to save your information. I literally plug it in and then I leave. That's it. It will tell me if it's been successful, if it's backed up, everything of that nature. But I highly recommend that you get one because I've heard countless horror stories. When I used to work at Apple, we had a lady who had a bad hard drive in her computer. And she had every picture of her kids, every single picture she had ever taken of her kids from birth to 10. And she had 3 kids. Every single picture was lost. And there was no way for her to get that information back. And so having to tell someone who's never printed out a picture of their children that every picture that she'd ever taken of them that's not on her phone is gone. And so that's a decade worth of memories. And so I don't want you guys to miss out on that. I think you guys should check it out. I think you would really enjoy it. Once you have that information and you know that you're backed up and you're secure, I think it would be a great transition for you. So now the other thing is what about those online entities that you mentioned before? So some people want to have the digital copy as well. Maybe they're traveling and they don't have the specific device. What if they just said, hey, I want to send it to the cloud. I want to send it to an online service. And so there's going to be 4 that I mentioned to you today. So the 2 cloud versions that are known as a cloud kind of based entity that most people associate with are known as iCloud and OneDrive. Now, OneDrive is a Microsoft product and iCloud, you guessed it, is an Apple product. So iCloud has something called iCloud Drive, which is basically mirrors what's on your computer. It has a whole list of all the things that are on my computer. So I could get on my tablet, I can get on my phone, and I can pull that up and I can pull off any file that's on my computer currently because of iCloud Drive. With iCloud, it backs up all my photos and syncs them across all the different things that I have. It has my email on there. It has my contacts on there. Has a whole list of different things. So I pay about $3 a month, and so or $36 for the year, and I get 200 gigabytes worth of information to store there, which is great. Works well for me and what I use it for. A lot of consumers, they don't need that much, so they pay about $1 and they get 55 gigabytes. So determining how much you need is pretty important. So what I would do is I would go into your settings on your computer or your tablet and look at how much storage you have. So some people, their computers go up to gigabytes, and some people, theirs go up to a TB, or known as a terabyte. So, but both of them work in similar ways. Now, the Microsoft OneDrive, what it focuses on is your documents, your files, your folders. It can do photos. It can do a few other things, but it's kind of made for that office suite. That was the first intention of it. But the other 2 that, should you not want to use one of those, is known as iDrive. And I'll go ahead and put that in the up here for you. iDrive, and the other one is known as Carbonite. Now, they both have a lot of security features. They have a lot of remote desktops and things like that that you can use depending on what you're going to use it for. But most of them run about $6 to $7 a month. And they have varying prices on what they give you. So it just depends on what you're interested in and what you're looking for. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to bring David back in for a second and just kind of get his thoughts and questions. And I actually have a question for him.
I'm here.
So my question for you is, I remember last week when we were talking about word processing programs that you said you were going to try out Pages for your essay. Did you do so?
I did. So we are actually instituting a new COVID policy at Generations Unlimited for our employees. And I wrote that policy on Pages.
What were your thoughts?
It was good. It was very easy. There's a couple things that are a little bit different. I think it's a little bit of a learning curve for somebody that's never used it before. But the basic stuff that you have to do is very simple.
Yeah, for sure. And so when it comes to these different cloud options, for someone who is a little bit younger than I am, what would you say that you use, David?
For the cloud.
For the cloud.
So funny because this is actually super relevant in my life right now. Last night, I actually dropped my phone, and I'm in this situation right now where it doesn't work as well as you would maybe want it to. It's actually turned on right now. You just can't tell because that's what the screen looks like. And so right now I use iCloud. And so I'm making sure that I back everything up to it while that screen is still a little bit responsive so I can replace my phone and not lose anything.
Okay, great. So when it comes to different things that we've talked about so far, did you have any questions that you think our listeners would find like that you would want to dive a little bit further into?
You know, I think that I'm really interested in kind of, maybe even potentially doing a tablet run through sometime, because doing games on tablets, like you said, is really fun and it's a good way to connect. And we're actually working on a program right now to pass out tablets to people. We are in the purchasing phase. So maybe we could get some kind of education out there before we pass out the tablets. And we can kind of do a screen view if we can figure out how to make that work. Maybe we can play some games and show how the games work and invite people to come in.
Yeah, that sounds great. I love that. And if that's something that you would love to do, be sure to comment or email us or talk to us however you can and get that message out over at the senior centers, either at Gail Reyes or at the Blackville Senior Center, and say, hey, like, I'd love to be a part of this, or I think that these are some great games that I already play, because you may already be looking at games. So yeah, let us know. But that's all I have for you today. Is there anything else I can do for you guys?
Well, I'm going to say everybody's homework right now is to go download a game and find someone to play it with. Chris, I'll download Words with Friends and we can play that. And that way we can come back next week and we can talk about playing some games.
We'll see who the winner is. The winner or the loser will have to wear like a baseball cap, and that way it'll be like a subtle way to let people know who won or who lost.
We love inside jokes here. Chris Crozier with Mobile Mentors, thanks so much for coming on, man. Oh, hey, we actually have a comment that says we would love to have a class on tablets. So I think we may be headed in the right direction here.
Hey, Lisa, thank you so much for commenting. Yeah. We definitely can do that. And we'll jump in there and we'll tackle it, and we'll make sure that everyone enjoys it. But hope to see you guys next week for the class. And yeah, we'll see you guys then.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for being here. Chris Crozier with Mobile Mentors. Let me put this little thing up right here. You can meet Chris and his team at mobilementors.co. As I have said, and it was funny the time, so I'm going to keep doing it. He's so technologically advanced, he doesn't need the M at the end. Mobilementors.co. I'm going to play this little video that Chris has sent me about his business. And Chris, thank you so much for being here, man. I will see you hopefully before next week, but I'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. And we will be back right after this quick little message with the lovely and fantastic Samantha Pace and Leah with Clemson Snap Ed. But first,
everyone's been there. We've all hit a button on our phone and thought we've lost everything. We've all made a trip to the computer store to wait hours for an appointment or weeks on a repair. Just when you start to get a handle on learning your device, an update comes out and changes everything, putting you back at square one. But the thing we haven't had? Someone to help. Someone who speaks in a way that helps you understand. Someone who knows your time is precious. After working at the world's largest technology corporation for over 5 years, I realized that people weren't getting the personal attention they deserved. That's why I created Mobile Mentors. Mobile Mentors is a service-based company centered around technology that allows customers to receive training, consultations, and convenience based upon the needs of their devices. We love helping our customers and have a passion for solving their problems. Our goal is to meet you where you are and help to get you where you want to be. Your time is valuable. Spend it on things that matter. Allow us to be the friendly household name for all of your technology needs. Mobile Mentors. Technology made easy.
And as you guys may see by the change in the logo on the top right-hand corner of the screen, it's time for yoga with Clemson Snap Ed. I'm about to bring Samantha into the stream. What is up, Samantha? Thanks for being here.
Hey, David, how's it going?
It's going great. Do we have Leah? Should I bring her in too?
Yes, we do.
Oh, she's waiting. All right, here she goes. What's up, Leah? Here, let's make us all. Oh, perfect. How are you guys doing today?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, David?
I'm doing good. We're just, we're pulling through. It's the day after Mardi Gras. It's Ash Wednesday. So happy Ash Wednesday to all of our Catholics out there. I understand you guys probably have a pretty cool program for us today. So what I'll do is stop talking and I'll let you guys take it away. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, David. All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another week, the 6th week, if I'm correct. I might have my numbers off. Honestly, between COVID, it could be January for all I know. It could be September. We're just out here. So welcome back to another week of workout with Clemson Snap Education. I am so excited to be here with you all once again to do some breathing exercises, chair yoga, a little bit of cardio, and then from there working it back into our breathing exercises and calling it for a day. Of course, David's got a little cooking segment for you all right after we're done. So definitely stay tuned. Don't click off, all right? Stay online. So the first thing, of course, that we always do is we always do our neutral spine exercise, all right? Now, of course, just like weeks before, we always add on just a few more new exercises just to keep you up, moving, trying some new things. It's all good, all right? And remember, don't overdo it. Don't strain yourself. Real champions take breaks because we know better. Yes, education is key, all right? So definitely take breaks if you need it. Now, of course, like I said, we're gonna start with our neutral spine exercises. With those neutral spine exercises, it's just gonna help you to gain proper posture, all right? So we don't wanna be bending forward, bending too far back, slouching. If you're sitting on the couch like this, sit up straight. I see you there. I see you. And I'm only judging you just a little bit. Just a little. So go ahead and sit up straight in those chairs and let's begin our exercise. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and scoot my chair back just a little bit. And we're just going to start in mountain pose. So if you haven't done mountain pose before, essentially what we're going to do is we're going to sit up as straight as possible. We're going to place our hands on our hips and we're just going to start rocking forward. And what we're doing right now is we're trying to find the proper placement of our pelvis because believe it or not, proper posture doesn't start with your shoulders. Boom, mind blown. Who knew? Proper posture starts with how you are seated in your chair. So right now what we're doing is we're doing our neutral spine exercise, trying to find the proper position for our pelvis because once we find a proper seated position in our chair, from there, We can work on placing our heart where it needs to be and placing our head where it needs to be so that we are not sitting off to the side, slouching over too much, sitting too far back, causing any stress or tension. So let's give it a nice, gentle rocking motion, forwards and backwards. If you're leaning too far forward, you're going to feel it. It's going to feel awkward. If you're leaning too far back, you're going to feel it. It's going to feel awkward. But right when you hit that middle position where you feel comfortable, where you're not leaning too far forward or backwards, but right in the middle of those two, that's where you want to be. All right. That's the proper pelvic position. That's where you want to be at, boys and girls. So that's what we're doing today. So again, we're just going to rock back and forth. So we're going to go ahead and rock back and forth. And if you're too far forward, it's going to feel awkward. You're going to feel it. If you're too far backward, it's going to feel awkward and you're going to feel it. So you want to be right there in the middle. And once you're in the middle, now we just need to make sure our heart is over our pelvis. So remember, if your heart is in its proper position, your heart is where your shoulders are going to be. All right. This is going to control everything. Once you get this bad boy in proper position, right over your pelvis. So think of your pelvis kind of like a bowl. Your heart should drop right into the bowl. And once you have that aligned, then your shoulders will follow suit. So if your heart is leaning a little too far forward, your shoulders are going to be drooping forward. If your heart is leaning a little too far back, your shoulders are probably going to feel like they're heading back towards the back area. That's what we're going to call it, apparently. Now, if you're leaning a little bit towards the side, so maybe your heart's sitting a little tilted, you're going to feel a little tilted too. So make sure that your heart is over your pelvis because your shoulders are going to follow suit. All right. And then the next position is our head over our heart, making sure that we're not putting too much tension in our neck. So go ahead and relax. Shake it out real quick. Shake it out. And make sure that your head is over your heart and your heart is over your pelvis. And your pelvis is properly seated in your chair in that neutral spine position. So again, if you're leaning too far forward, too far back, that's a no-go. Go ahead and find that middle zone. Find that middle zone and get where you need to be. And of course, you can always go back and watch our previous videos on either the Facebook page or our YouTube page to check us out if you are new here and want to go back and see what all we've been talking about, what all we've been exercising and doing. But in the meantime, stay tuned with us. Don't click off just yet. Stay tuned with us. And we're going to go ahead and walk you through this week's week 6's exercises. All right. So thanks for throwing that up there, David. All right, so here we go. So first things first is now that we've done our neutral spine exercise, we're going to go ahead and get into our deep breathing exercises. And we always start off with something super simple, in through the nose, out through the mouth. So let's go ahead and do that 5 times, okay? So give me a deep breath in through the nose, and then we're just going to blow the air out through our mouths, okay? Not through the nostrils again. We want to make sure that we're getting a nice even flow of air because our brain needs oxygen to function. Our brain needs oxygen in order to function. That oxygen goes to the brain, goes to the rest of the body. It's necessary. So let's go ahead and get it in through the nose and out through the mouth. Number 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 'Perfection. All right. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is our diaphragmatic breathing. Now, for those of you who are new, your diaphragm is about right here in this area, okay? And so when people talk about singing from your diaphragm or speaking from your diaphragm, it's going to be right there in the center, all right? That's where you want to take it from. Now, when we're breathing from our diaphragm, we're not expanding our tummies out, okay? We are keeping our tummies tucked in. Thanks, David. We're keeping our tummies tucked in and we are expanding our lungs, okay? So we want to feel our lungs expand and push out to the side, but we want our tummy to stay where it is, okay? We're not sucking in air into our stomach. We are practicing our breathing, strengthening our lungs. And so we don't want this breath in our tummy. We want it here, up here. So let's go ahead and give that a good practice. Just for an example. So tummy, if you need to tighten your tummy muscles a little, just to kind of remind yourself to keep that air from out of that area, but to push it up here in your chest cavity, then go ahead and do that. But let's try that again, just as an example, then we'll do it 5 times, all right? And remember, we're breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth. Deep breathing, yes, so here we go. And you should see your chest start to rise, your shoulders start to rise, feel your lungs expand out to the side, your tummy still remaining tucked in, and breathe out. Perfect breathing, Leah. All right, so here we go. We're gonna do that 5 times, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Make sure you're keeping the air in your chest cavity and not in your tummy area. Here we go. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 'All right, great job, ladies and gentlemen. And so this next one is going to be a little funny, but it's called humming breath, all right? So kind of like a hummingbird, when they're buzzing by, you can hear that little noise as they're going along their merry little day. We're going to be doing a little bit of something new called a humming breath, all right? Now with this one, we're going to inhale in, and as we breathe out, we're going to and we're just going to give it a nice little hum as we breathe out, all right? And remember, we want our exhale to be a little more extended than our inhale. So if we're inhaling for 2 seconds, then we're going to exhale for 3. And you want to make that humming noise. It's so important to hear that humming noise. Reason being is because, quite frankly, it can be relaxing to some. Now, if you are a person who is very sound sensitive, for whatever reason, you cannot be overstimulated, or maybe you have autism or things of that nature, that's cool. Definitely just do the inhale and exhale without worrying about the humming noise. But if you can get in with that humming noise, definitely do a little humming with me, all right? Don't leave me out here doing it by myself. It's just awkward then. All right, so here we go. We're gonna inhale, and then as we exhale, we're gonna or little bit of noise going on, all right? And that's just gonna help us to relax, to focus in on ourselves and less on the outside world. If your boss is sitting behind you in the other room, we're not worried about them today. We're just gonna focus on ourselves and get a little relaxation in, all right? So let's do this. We're gonna do it 5 times. Inhale, and then as you exhale, make a little noise. All right, so inhale for 1. Exhale. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All right, and this last one, make it a good one. We're going to do a nice deep breath, and then we're going to exhale it nice and slow, all right? And exhale. All right, wonderful. And those vibrations, hopefully from your humming, helps you to relax a little bit. You can try those breathing exercises multiple times a day. If you're sitting in traffic and you are just about to snap, about to honk that horn at the 6 cars in front of you at the red light because you want them to move on the red because you are ready to go. Try those breathing exercises, give them a go, see if they work for you. All right, so of course, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get into our mountain pose and we're going to start our chair yoga. So let's get into it. So again, find that proper neutral spine position. You should be right there in the middle, not too far forward, not too far back. And then we want our heart over our pelvis, our head over our heart. And we're just going to go ahead and place our hands on our hips for mountain pose. If you need to scooch forward in your chair just a little bit, feel free to. And then we're just going to take it down. Remember to keep that face facing the screen. You don't want it tucked under because the weight of your head is going to weigh on your neck and that's going to cause some tension. It's going to hurt. So let's go ahead and keep it facing towards the screen. And then we're just going to pull it back up. That's one. Take it down for 4 more. All right. So take it down for number 2. Keep that spine straight, bend at the hips. And then we're going to bring it right on back up, right on back up. That's 2, guys. 3 more. All right. Then we're going to take it down again for number 3. Keeping that head facing forward because we don't want to put too much tension on our neck. That hurts. And then we're going to bring it back up. Feel that in your upper shoulders. That's the sweet stuff. All right. Now bring it down for number 4. Yeah. Getting some relaxation in, exercising. And then bringing it back up again. If you stop exercising for your New Year's resolution, join us. Get in on this. We're doing it. And then we're going to bring it down for our last one. Number 5. And then bring it up nice and slow. All right. So the next thing we're going to get into, of course, is our sun salutations. I'm going to do it standing, but of course, Leah, our modified version, is going to be staying in the chair. So as I'm going to stand up, scooching my chair off to the side so you can see just me. With our sun salutations, we're just going to bring our hands for demonstration purposes up towards the sky. Bring them together in a prayer pose. Bring them back in front of our heart space, so right in front of our heart. Open wide for any good stuff, good news, good blessings we're going to receive today. And then we're going to tuck them down to our sides because we are claiming it. All right. The same thing will happen if you are seated in your chair. Okay. So you would just stay seated in your chair. You would bring your arms up. Come on over to prayer pose. Bring it back down in front of your heart space. Open it up nice and wide. And then you're going to snatch that bad boy down towards your sides. So whether you're standing or seated, it's all the same. Hey, my partner's back. All right, let's do this. All right. So we're going to do 5 of these apiece. And ready, begin. And be sure to breathe. If you're holding your breath, stop it. Breathe in. Hands together in prayer pose. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. So I'll show you how to breathe again for number 2. Breathe in. Hands together in prayer pose. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right. Now, I'm going to instruct you. Remember to keep breathing. So take it up into the air. We are reaching up for good things. Telling all the negativity, we're bringing it up. We're hoisting it up. It's someone else's problem right now. We're going to pull down our prayer hands. We're asking to receive. We're opening up for those blessings, for those positive vibes, for that good news today. And now we're going to claim it. It's going to happen. We're going to get some good news, even if it's something as, you know what? No good news is small news. So we're just going to get some good news today. That was number 3. So let's bring it up for number 4. Throwing away our negativity, throwing away the frustrations of the day, bringing it down into prayer, hands in front of our chest, opening it back up to that positivity. We're getting some good news today. All good news is great news. It's big news. And we're claiming that for ourselves. That's ours. All right. And I'm just going to do one more just for the heck of it because we need it today. All right. We're going to reach up for some good news, for some gladness, throw away that negativity, bring our hands down in front of our heart space, asking for it. opening up to receive it, because when you ask for it, you got to be ready to take it in. And then when you're ready to take it in and do the work, we're going to claim it because it's ours. All right, perfection. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my chair again for our seated spinal twist. Now remember, for those of you who've been here before, our seated spinal twists are simply us taking it to the side, counting to 5, holding it, and then bringing it back to the center, and then doing it again on the other side. And we'll do 5 on each side. Yes, Lisa, we are throwing away our negativity and we are claiming it, honey. We are claiming positivity over our day and our lives today, honey. If you are a Christian and you believe in the devil, we are kicking him out today. Not today, baby. Not today. This is our space, our time. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So with our seated spinal twist, we are just going to, again, for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to reach on over to the side, place that arm back. We're going to, remember, stay seated up straight. We don't want to be leaning too far forward, too far back. We want to be right there in the middle. We're going to hold that for 5 seconds apiece, and we're going to do it on both sides. All right, so we're going to do it 5 apiece on both sides. So if you hear me say 1, 1, that's because we're completing 1 on each side, okay? And that's just how I keep up with things. Otherwise, I'm going to lose it all. All right, so let's go ahead and take it over to the side. Keep your legs in front of you. Go ahead and take it over to the side. Place that arm back. Hold that for 5 seconds, seated upright. We'll hold that for 5, 4, remember to breathe, 3, 2, 1. That's 1. Bring it back over slowly to the middle. And then reach it on back. Hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, that's 1 completed on both sides. Let's go over to the side that you began with in the first place. We'll take it back for number 2. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it back for number 2. Take it back to center. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. I know you do it. And then let's take it on back for number 2 on the other side. Seated spinal twist. Hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, back to center, back to center, back to center. Release that tension. Let's go on back for number 3. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center, nice and slow. We're not jerking it. We're not about to hurt ourselves or our muscles. We don't need to rush for anybody right now, baby. All right, and then we're just going to take it on back for number 3 on the other side. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, bring it on back to center, nice and easy. Does it all the time. And then let's take it back for number 4. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back nice and easy. Take it back for number 5. Or take it back for number 4 on this side. See, I'm losing it already. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back nice and slowly. All right, we're going to get into the last repetition, seated spinal twist. All right, take it back for number 5. Last one on both sides. Hold that bad boy in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in the middle nice and slowly. Give me one good deep breath. Go. All right, now let's take it on down and back for this last one. And we're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, perfection, perfection, perfection. So the next one we're going to get into is our seated half moon twist, all right? So we're going to go ahead and throw our arms up in the T position. And then when we're ready, if you're new here, we're just going to throw up our palm. So palm skyward for one of our hands, whether it's your left hand or your right hand, whichever one. And for my right hand, since I have my palm skyward, I'm just going to lean a little to the right, just enough to feel a stretch in my side, but not enough to fall out of the chair, all right? So we're just going to stay in that chair and make sure our palm is skyward, and we're just going to take it over, and we're going to hold that for 5 seconds. And then we're going to bring it back to center, all right? And this is why it's so important to have done that neutral spine exercise, because if you're leaning too far forward and you try to do this, you're going to feel a real awkward stretch, maybe even get a cramp, and it's going to feel uncomfortable. If you're leaning too far backwards and you try to lean over, again, it's going to be a little uncomfortable for your back. Also, you may not feel the stretch like you're supposed to. So go ahead and throw it up in T position, like we are a bird. And then we're going to go ahead and flip that right hand over, palm skyward. And then we're just going to take it over to the side and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Turn that palm earthward, so turn it towards the ground. Turn the opposite palm skyward, and then take it over that way. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it on back to center. All right. Reverse palms. Skyward with your opposite palm, and taking it on over. So 5, 4. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 2, 1. Bring it back to center. Turn that upward palm down towards the earth. Turn the other palm skyward and bring it on out to the side. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, turn that palm, bring it back to center, bring it back to center. All right, let's do this 2 more times, okay? So flip that palm skyward and then take it on over. Hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back to center. Flip that palm. If your arms are feeling a little bit of tension, a little bit of heavy, go ahead and shake them out. Release the tension. And then head back into T position, all right? We don't want to overdo it. We don't want to stress ourselves. This is just to be a relaxing exercise. Get those muscles moving, get our bodies flowing, release some of that static and tension, but not to feel any pain. We're not lifting 2,000-pound dumbbells here. So let's go ahead and flip that opposite palm and take it on over for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, perfection, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and release that tension in your shoulders. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and get into our seated calf stretches, all right? Now go ahead and scooch, and I'm just going to scooch my chair back just a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and scooch forward on our chairs, making a nice box with the back, using the back of our legs and the front part of the chair legs. Also, if you're a mathematician, make a 90-degree angle with your legs. I wasn't very fond of math growing up in school. I was more of a literature and historian person, but it's fine. So we're just going to go ahead and make a nice 90-degree angle with our legs, making sure that we're in our proper posture. And then with this one, we're going to do our seated calf stretches, all right? So we're going to put our right leg out in front of us, keeping our heel on the ground, pointing our toes up towards the sky. We're going to bring that big toe, pull it back towards our chest. So remember, your heel is still on the ground, and that big toe is being pulled back towards your chest. If that stretch hurts too much, ease up a little on pulling your big toe back. It's okay. You want to feel a stretch, but not too much pain. Now we're going to bring that big toe back towards our chest. And if you like, for an extra helping, you can reach down towards that big toe and kind of pull it back a little, all right? If not, it's fine to just feel that big toe go towards your chest. So I will lean down. Leah can stay sitting upwards, and we'll just go with the flow. All right, and we're going to hold that for 15 seconds per leg. All right? We don't want to be lopsided. So let's go ahead and take it down. And we're going to hold that for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release, gently release. Come on back up to the top, all right? Remember, we're not flopping and doing all that stuff. We're just taking our time. So now we're going to go ahead and reverse legs. If you used your right leg first, go to your left leg. If you use your left leg first, go to your right leg. We're going to go ahead and reverse it. And we're going to put that left leg out there, heel on the ground, and we're going to take that big toe and pull it back towards our chest. And we're going to hold that for 15 seconds, all right? So let's go 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and bring it up nice and slow. And again, we're going to do our mountain poses one more time just to get a nice good stretch in before we start our light cardio. All right, so let's go ahead and head back into mountain pose. Remember to go into that neutral spine position. So your pelvic perfectly seated in your chair, right in that middle ground, heart over pelvis, head over heart. Sit up straight, hands on hips. And remember to go ahead and take it down with your head facing forward, all right? Bend at the hips, not at the lower back. And then bring it up nice and easy. That's one, guys. 4 more. Bring it down again. Remember to breathe. Don't you hold your breath. And then bring it back up again. That's 2. Three. 4. Last one. And 5. All right, perfect job, perfect job. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is jump into our light cardio. And so let's go ahead and get into our marching in place position. If you are seated, then stay seated. If you are a chair user or you have a walker with a chair on it, go ahead and stay seated if you like. If you want to stand, stand up with me. All right, so if you're staying seated, you're just going to go ahead and lift your legs and march in place. If you're standing, we're just going to go ahead and get these knees up and start marching in place. Lift those feet up as high off the ground as you can. Remember, we're getting in the exercise, but we're not overdoing it. And so we're just going to go ahead and start marching in place. We're going to keep that going for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to continue marching in place. Keep those legs moving up and down. And we're going to start jabbing. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. Go ahead and shake out the tension. Shake out the tension. Next thing we're going to do is our side-to-side taps. So our side-to-side taps. And essentially, if you are standing, you're just going to reach to the side, reach to the side, tapping that foot on the ground behind you. If you are seated, you will simply place your leg out in front and lean. Place the leg out in front, lean. And you're going to feel that stretch just a little bit, all right? No worries. And I'm actually going to redo that for you. So you're going to place your leg out in front, lean. Place your leg out in front, lean. There we are. You ever get your left and your right crossed up? I'm telling you, if I didn't tell myself which one was left and right, my eyes would cross and I wouldn't know which way to turn when I'm driving. So here we go. So we're going to do this 15 times a piece, all right? Ready, begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember to breathe. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, perfection, perfection, perfection. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into our modified jumping jacks. If you're seated in your chair, you will simply, just like the side, and this is modified jumping jacks. And so just like with the side-to-side taps, you're going to place your leg out in front and raise your arms midway. So we don't have to bring your arms all the way up if we don't have that full range of motion. We can still get in a good exercise just going midway, all right? So if you're seated, you will simply bring your leg out in front, lift your arms, pull your leg in, bring your leg out in front, like so. If you're standing, you of course will just follow my lead, but you will move your leg to the side. Like so. So if you're standing, you will follow my lead. If you're seated, you will simply follow Leah's lead, and you will just follow our leg tap. So stay on the beat. Ready? We'll do 15 of these bad boys. So ready and begin. I hope you're working out with this, David. So that's 1, 2, bring those legs out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, great job, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and balance on one leg. If you're seated in a chair, just go ahead and lift your leg as high off the ground as you can and try to hold that for as long as you can, all right? This balance is going to help you go up and down the stairs. This is going to help you get on and off the curb properly. This is really going to help you stand a little longer without your walking aid, or even with your walking aid, help you stand a little longer while you're using your aid without feeling as though you're about to lose your balance or things of that nature. If you're standing with me, you'll just want to lift that leg up off the ground as high as you can. And you can either use a chair to assist you, because remember, we're just focusing on strengthening these leg muscles, all right, and building up that balance. Or if you're able to, you're going to lift your arms up to the sky and hold that position for as long as you can. And we'll do that for about 15 seconds for each leg because we don't want to be lopsided. So if you're seated, simply bring that leg up as high as you can and hold it. If you're standing and would like to use a chair assist, do that as well. And if you're standing with me and do not wish to use the chair, then go ahead and lift those arms up and hold that leg up for as long as you can. So 15 seconds apiece. Let's do it. So 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, take it on down. And you're going to notice the difference between your driving leg and your not driving leg, all right? So let's go ahead and lift the other leg, the opposite leg that you haven't done yet, up into the air. Again, you can use a chair assist if you like. And we're just going to hold that for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, perfection, perfection, perfection. Now let's go ahead and get into our posture stretch. So with our posture stretch, we will pinch our shoulder blades together, standing up straight. Pinch our shoulder blades together, face our palms outwards, and bring our heads up towards the sky. We'll start to feel just a little bit of a stretch in our necks and feel a little bit of pressure in our shoulders, all right? That's going to help us to release that tension back there, especially for those of you who have sat for long periods of time in the chair facing the computer. You might feel a little bit of tension there. Let's go ahead and get into that posture stretch. We're going to hold that for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Remember to breathe. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it on down. All right, let's get into our shoulder stretches. So bring that right arm across your chest. Apply just a slight amount of pressure, not a whole lot, to your elbow with your left hand, and then reach that right arm outward. Reach it to the side and hold that for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, gently bring it on back. All right, now let's go ahead and bring that left arm across our chest. Apply a slight, small amount of pressure with your right hand, and then reach that left arm out. Reach, 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 reach. You should feel a slight pull in your shoulder. Reach, 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 reach. And hold that for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, bring it on back, bring it on back. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is get into our shoulder rolls, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and flop my butt right back down, or my bum right back down in this chair. And we're just going to get into our shoulder rolls, all right? 5 forward, 5 backward. All right, we're going to take it nice and slow. Again, we're not rushing, and we just want to remember to breathe. If you're someone who holds your breath, stop it. Remember to breathe. Your brain needs oxygen. All right, so ready? Remember, proper posture, proper pelvic sit placement, head over head. That's your head right there. Heart over pelvis, head over heart. And let's get into those shoulder rolls. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, I added on a surprise 5 more. Boom. All right, let's do 10 backwards. 1, 2, 3. Remember to breathe. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, make it good. And 10. All right, let's go ahead and shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Release that tension, release that tension. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. All right, so the next thing we're going to get into is our single knee rolls, and we're going to do this 5 on each knee. Now, for those of you who are new with our knee rolls, you want to make sure that you are firmly planted in your chair, and you're just going to cross your fingers together behind the back of your knee. You're going to lift your leg up ever so slightly, as high off the ground as you can get it. No need to push yourself or pressure yourself. We're going to do our single knee rolls. All right, single knee rolls. All right, we're going to take it 5 times to the left and 5 times to the right. Then we'll go into our hip stretches. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, and let's take it 5 in the opposite direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, now let's do a hip stretch on this leg while we've got her nice and flexed out. So let's go ahead and place our foot just behind our knee, just behind our kneecap on our opposite leg. You don't want it sitting right on that kneecap because we don't want to put pressure there, all right? We don't want to mess up that joint. That's a very important joint. So go ahead and pull your foot back just a little bit. Remember, just kind of like mountain pose, we want to keep our head up when we bend down by the hips or bend at the hips. We want to place our hand on our hips, and we just want to bend forward. And you're going to feel that stretch in your hips. You're going to feel it. And that's the good stuff right there. If it hurts too much, just come up a little, all right? And we're going to hold that for 15 seconds. So 15, 14, eyes up here, not down there. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, remember to breathe, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it up nice and slow. Remember, we're not out here trying to hurt these joints. And we're going to go ahead, place our foot slowly, easy does it on the ground. Now we're back to that single knee roll for the opposite leg that you haven't done yet. So go ahead and cross those fingers behind that knee. Bring that leg on up for that last single knee roll. And we're just going to take it to the left. Let's go that way. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now let's take it to the right 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we've gone ahead and got that hip area flexed out. Let's go ahead and bring our foot up just behind our kneecap. We don't want it on that joint. We're going in. Yes, David, we are going in for that hip stretch. And so we're just going to go ahead and place our hands on our hips, make sure our posture is proper. Heart over pelvis, head over heart. Keep your head up when you bend down at the waist and bring it on down. Hold for 15 seconds. You're going to feel that stretch, guys, and it's going to feel different than your driving leg. So let's go. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Nice and easy does it. Go ahead and place that foot down nice and slowly. We're not out here trying to hurt those joints. Next thing we're going to do is a chair-assisted downward dog, all right? We're not getting on the floor in this class. We don't do that. So for our downward dog, if you're seated in your chair, you're just going to place your arms up in the air and keeping your arms as aligned with your head as possible. You're just going to bend at the waist and bring it on forward. Our chair-assisted downward dog. Now, for those of us who are standing, we're just going to move our chair a little forward, and we're going to place our arms on the back of our chair, and then we're just going to walk it backwards until our arms are aligned with our head and our back is aligned with, so our arms and our head and our back are aligned to make a nice flat surface, all right? So we're just going to walk it back until we achieve that straightened alignment, all right? So it's all got to be as even as possible, and that's where you're going to start to feel that stretch. So if you're seated, arms up, keep that head and those arms aligned as possible and bend at the waist. That's when you'll feel that stretch. If we're standing, we're just going to stand behind our chair, our hands on the back of our chair, and we're just going to walk it back until we get that nice flat surface with our back, our head, and our arms, and that's when we'll feel that stretch. And we're going to hold that for 15 seconds. So if you're leaning off to the side like this, get your butts up. I see you. Let's go. All right, so let's take it on back. And let's hold that for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, walk it on slowly, bring it up slowly. All right. So again, we're just gonna do one more calf stretch, much like we did earlier, but in this case, if we're standing up, we're just going to do our chair-assisted calf stretches, and I'm just going to hang on to the back of my chair. I'm going to place my left leg in front, bend the knee slightly, and place my right leg back and press my heel into the ground until I feel that calf stretch. If you are seated, you're going to kind of slide to the edge of your chair just a little bit. We're going to place that leg in front. We're going to place that leg in front, and we're just going to go ahead and bring one leg out in front of us, and you'll kind of repeat the same thing with those toe touches, all right? So nothing too complicated. So we're kind of going to repeat what we did earlier if you're staying seated, just to get that calf stretch in. However, if you're someone who would like to stand up, then we'll come behind the chair, place the chair in front. We're going to hang on to the back of our chair, place one leg in front, bend the knee slightly, bring that right leg back, and press our knee into the ground. And we're going to hold that for 15 seconds. So for those of you who are seated, just like we did earlier with those seated calf stretches, we're just going to bring that big toe back towards our chest. For those of you who are standing, we're just going to place that heel on the ground. And this is just to give you some modification and some options. Go ahead and do that stretch. So let's hold it for 15, 14, 13, remember to breathe, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and do the opposite leg. So if you're seated, go ahead and bring that big toe back. If you are standing, bend that right leg slightly at the knee. Make sure that knee does not go over your big toe. If it goes over your big toe, you're going to mess up that joint, and that's a big, big no-no. And then you're going to go ahead and bring that left leg back, pressing that knee into the ground, pressing that heel into the ground. Whew, goodness. Pressing your heel into the ground, and you're going to hold that for 15 seconds. So right leg in front, bend the knee slightly, making sure it's not going over the big toe. Left leg at the back, pressing the heel into the ground. Hold that for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Next thing we're going to do is our neck stretches and then a couple more exercises. And then we're going to go into our deep breathing. And then we're going to bring back up David. All right. So big thumbs up for you guys who are still here with us and still participating. We are with Clemson Snap Education. And we're so happy to be working out with you today. So let's get into our next exercise. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is our neck stretches, making sure that we have our proper posture. So remember, rock backwards and forwards. If you are leaning too far forward, you're not in the proper position. Leaning too far back, off to the side, not in your proper position. Find that proper middle ground, heart over pelvis, head over heart, sit seated up straight. And we're just going to bend our ear about halfway towards our shoulder. We're not going to take it all the way down because if we do, we're going to hurt ourselves, all right? We just want to feel that stretch. And we're going to hold that for a few seconds, all right? So 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, remember to breathe, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. And then we're going to take it to the other side because we don't want to be lopsided. Let's go ahead and relax into it. Ease it in. Feel that stretch. 10, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, bring it back up, bring it back up. Nice and easy. Does it. Great job, guys. Now we're going to get into some arm circles, all right? We're going to go ahead and do 10 repetitions, 10 reps. So 10 forwards and 10 backwards, okay? So go ahead and get into our T position. If holding your arms out for too long gets a little painful, then we can just go ahead and hold our arms up like this, all right? It's all about bringing our shoulders through that full range of motion, all right? We're not really trying to cause ourselves too many problems. So let's go ahead and get into it. 10 forward, 10 back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now let's take it backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, release the tension, release the pressure. Next thing we're going to get into is our heel and toe raises. All right, now this is our new exercise. All right, these are 2 new exercises for the week. So we got our heel and toe raises. So let's go ahead and take it behind the chair. If you are seated in your chair, then you will go ahead and simply stand your legs up on their tiptoes and then bring them back down. What this is doing is strength building in your legs, all right? So that repetition is going to build up strength in those muscles. So if you're seated in your chair, you're going to bring your legs up onto their tiptoes, bring your feet up onto their tiptoes, lift that heel off the ground, and then bring it back down, all right? If you are standing, we're going to run behind the chair, hanging on to the back. We're going to get up onto our tiptoes, hold it, and then bring it back down, all right? So up onto our tiptoes, hold it, and bring it back down. And we're using the chair to assist us, just to, again, help us maintain that balance because we don't want to fall over, don't want to hurt ourselves. If we use a walker, cane, some sort of assist, if it's just been a while since you worked out and you want to play it safe, as you should, we're just going to go ahead and use the back of our chair. All right, and we're going to do 15 of these bad boys. So if you're seated in your chair, raise those feet up off the ground onto your tiptoes. If you're standing up with me, raise it up, hold it, drop it back down. So 15 of these, and we're up for 1, Up for 2. Bring it down. Up for 3. Bring it down. Up for 4. Bring it down. Up for 5. Bring it down. Up for 6. Bring it down. Up for 7. Bring it down. Up for 8. Bring it down. Up for 9. Bring it down. Up for 10. Bring it down. Up for 11. Bring it down. Up for 12. Bring it down. Up for 13. Bring it down. Up for 14. Ooh, almost there. Hold it. Bring it down. Last one. Let's make this a good one. Up for 15. Get it on up there on those tiptoes as high as you can. Hold it, hold it. And then bring it on down nice and slowly, all right? And that's why we stretch those calves out so you can feel that. All right, and then last thing we're going to get into is our squats. Now this one for our folks who are standing, who are able to get out of their chairs for just a minimal amount of time. For our squats, we're simply going to move our chair off to the side. We're going to place our feet shoulder width apart. And we're just, words. And we're just going to take it down 5 times, all right? Now, David, this is our last exercise before we get into our breathing exercises and close out for our cooking session. So I think I might want to see you for this one. Do you think you can do it? Oh yeah, here we go.
I'm not necessarily happy about it, but here, let me stand up.
That's okay, David. You can complain the whole time, so long as you're up with us.
I'm up with you.
All right, good. So we're going to move our chair off to the side, and we are going to make sure that our knees aren't hitting the back of anything because we don't want to hurt those joints, all right? Perfection. So we're going to place our feet shoulder width apart, and we're going to hang on to the back of our chair for that support because, again, we don't want to topple over, hurt ourselves. And we're going to go in a seated squatted position, almost like we're sitting our butts in a chair, but it's an invisible chair and we're using our thigh muscles to support us, all right? So we're going to take it down 5 times. You prep, David?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. So we're going to go down 1. Take it on down, David. I believe in you. All right, come back up. Go down 2. Poke those tushes out. Coming back up. Go down 3. There you go. Go down 4. I believe in you. Remember to breathe. Bring it back up. All right, this last one, we're going to hold it for a second. Bring it on down. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. And then bring it on back up. All right. Let's go ahead and take a seat. We'll get into our deep breathing exercises. Going to do that 5 times, and then we're going to close out, and David's going to take over. All right, so remember, just like we did earlier with our diaphragmatic breathing, we want to keep our tummy muscles tucked in. We want to feel our lungs expand, and we're going to breathe in through our noses and out through our mouths. All right, let's do that 5 times. Begin. Let me hear some humming on this one. All right. So when you breathe out, let me hear. All right. So breathe in and let it go. Great. 4 more. Breathe in. And let me hear you. There you go. I hear it. All right. 3 more. Breathe in. And let it go. All right, 2 more. Breathe in. And all right, last one. Make it a good one. Big deep breath. Extend the exhale. All right, great job. Thank you so much for working out with us today at Clemson SNAP Education Program. David, what do you think?
I think this was awesome. I appreciate you guys coming out for this. What you don't know is that I started today with a pretty nasty tension headache. And so I was doing these stretches along with you guys, and I actually feel a lot better now.
Great, David. That's so awesome to hear. Oftentimes when we come into a place of working out, we think, well, we have to do it perfect, or we have to have the perfect posture. Well, we do have to have good posture, but we have to do, perfect squats, perfect this, perfect that. Or we come in with such a stress on our shoulders that sometimes it's hard to focus. But once we get into the moment and we start those deep breathing exercises and we drop off all that nonsense at the door, at the window, at the doggy door, whatever case may be, then we're able to focus in and actually release a little bit of tension and let it go, and maybe have a little bit of relaxation.
I think I couldn't agree with you more. Leah, Samantha, thank you guys so much for being here today. Let me see if I can pull up a little ticker that says that you are Clemson Snap Ed. I know I have the little one, but I want to have a bigger one. There we go. Clemson Snap Ed. Thank you guys so much. You've been with us this whole time, and we will see you next week.
All right. Bye, David.
Bye. And that just about does it for our live senior activities. However, we do have a bonus hour coming up in just a second. We're going to do a little cooking show. We're going to broadcast a little cooking show to you guys to kick off a healthy 2021. My name's David. I'm not with Clemson Snap Ed. I'm with Generations Unlimited. But today we met the people, Chris Crozier with Mobile Mentors and Samantha and Leah with Clemson Snap Ed. Really appreciate everybody. Make sure you guys keep in touch with us. If you have any feedback, we have a survey that we have posted in the comments. And I will see you guys next week.
Bolognese. This is from my new cookbook, Superfood Family Classics. We've taken one of the most classic family recipes, spaghetti bolognese, and we've made it veggie. It's really nutritious. It's perfectly balanced. It's 3 of your 5 fruit and veg a day, which is fantastic. And it's bigging up wonderful ways to get protein without eating meat, which is always really handy in modern day life. So look, we got 2 sticks of celery, 2 carrots, 2 onions, 2 cloves of garlic. I'm using 20 grams of dry porcini here. That's the only sort of ingredient you've got to find, really, but they're in the supermarkets, and this gives you the body of flavor, right? It's a really humble, delicious meal. So a couple of tablespoons olive oil into a pan, put that on a medium heat, celery nice and fine. We're going to slice up some garlic here, and 2 sprigs of rosemary, finely chopped, 2 carrots, ½ centimeter dice. This is a rustic peasant dish, and it's going to make you really, really happy. I'm using red onions. You can use white if you want. Finely chop it. We've got that on a medium heat, and I'm going to put a lid on. I'll give that a little shake and just sort of slowly sweat that off without color for about 15, 20 minutes. Before I kind of disappear, I'm just going to cover the dry porcini. It's very savory. It's got a real deep, incredible broth. So this has had about 20 minutes now, and it's just frying away nice and gently. I can just turn the gas up a little bit. 100 mils of Chianti goes in there. Let it cook away. So while that's frying away, add a couple of leaves of bay leaves. They can go in now. Let's just roughly chop these mushrooms. These have rehydrated now. It's only 20 grams, guys, but it's big flavor. We're going to go in with the broth now, guys. We're ending the frying process now. Often there's kind of little bits of grit. Discard that. We're going to go in with the tomatoes, loosely bash those up, and they'll fall apart as they cook. I'm just going to put a swig of boiling water in each tin. Just swill it around. So, tomatoes are in. Now lentils. They're brilliant. They absorb flavor, just like meat would. So we're just going to break up some of those tomatoes. And we're going to turn the heat back down to sort of medium. And I'm going to let that just kind of simmer and blip away for about 30 minutes. And then I'll show you what to do next. So let's have a little taste. This is your opportunity to have a little season. And the heat's off now. I can put a little parsley through this lovely ragu. You could use basil if you wanted to. You can mix it up, or lovely marjoram or something like that. In the pan next to it, I have some pasta, 80 grams per person. I've traded up from white pasta, spaghetti, to whole wheat pasta. 3 times the amount of fiber in whole wheat products. More B vitamins, so really, really good. So what I'm going to do is steal a little bit of water. I'm just adjusting the texture, and I want it to be nice and loose so it just catches the pasta in a beautiful way. That pasta has had it sort of 8 minutes now. It's ready and raring to go. So drain your pasta and just keep a little bit of that cooking water, okay? And I'll show you why in a minute. So I'm just going to do a couple of portions of this. Look at that. Let's mix it up. Parmesan, 15 grams or so. The seasoning of the Parmesan just brings the lovely flavors together. Now it's starting to get thick now, right? And a bit claggy, and that's not cool. So we're going to add some of that cooking water, and that's going to keep it nice and loose and gorgeous. So let's plate this up. And before all the veggies start telling me off, saying that Parmesan is not vegetarian, this is actually a cheese called Bella Lodi, which is using a vegetarian rennet, and it's very similar to Parmesan. So here we go. The lovely veggie bolognese. Get in there. Really good. Sort of slightly smoky from the rosemary and from the porcini. Sweet from the tomatoes, and you got all the veg that's kind of just cooked into the lentils to be that kind of ragu-y sort of texture that we love. Please give it a go. Don't write it off until you've tried it. Okay, we're going to do an amazing soup that I learned inspiration of a trip I had to Costa Rica. And we went to this incredible area, and they had this black bean soup with beautiful eggs poached in it at the last minute. Incredible, with tortillas and a little salsa. Really healthy. It's got 3 of your 5 a day, and it's packed full of the good stuff. So very simply, get some celery and just strip it into little lengths like this. And then we're going to just roughly chop it into like centimeter dice. In a pan, we're going to use a Dutch oven like this. Put it on a medium heat. We're going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We're going to go in with the celery. Then we're going to go in with the garlic. And then as you're adding these flavors, the smell is amazing. We're going to get some thyme here. You could use oregano if you wanted to. Then we're going to go in with the 2 little bay leaves, okay? These go in. Fragrance, beautiful. Then we're going to go in with 2 finely chopped onions. I'm using red onions, but of course you could use white onions or even leeks if you wanted to. I like the idea of a little kick, a little spice to it. So I'm going to add just a little bit of chili. About half a chili goes in. Then peppers. We love our peppers. I just get my thumbs and push in this little stalk, and then I pull it up like that. So remove the seeds, roughly chop the peppers into kind of centimeter chunks. A nice little pinch of seasoning goes in. While that's frying, I'm going to get on with a kind of kicker. Okay, so let's have a little look at that. We've got a bowl here, and we want to make a kind of salsa. Okay, so I've got a small bunch of coriander here. I want to use the top half for my salsa, and this bottom half, the stalks, they're nice and clean. We're going to finely slice that. Okay, you know, the stalks have got loads of flavor. Don't throw them away. So they go in. Beautiful. And then the leaves are going to go in my funky little salsa. I'm just going to roughly chop the leaves like that. And then I'm going to take some chilies. It could be like a jalapeno. It could be a red chili. You know, it really can be anything you like. I'm going to take a little bit of lime juice. I'm using these different colored chilies just because I've got them. The chilies go in, the coriander goes in, then we're going to go in with the juice of 1 lime. And all I want to do is add a little swig of olive oil, okay? and a pinch of salt. And then just use a little spoon to mix that up. It's very, very simple, guys. So we've got 800 grams of tinned or Tetra Pak beans, black beans going in. Of course, you can use any beans, but black beans are actually the highest protein beans that you can get. Look at that. Look at the color, juice and all. I'm going to go in with about 400 mils of water. Right, we'll bring this to the boil and let it thunder along and boil hard for 10 minutes. This dish I had cooked for me, little area of Costa Rica called the Nicoya Peninsula. These lovely ladies, sort of in their 50s, cooked it with me. And they cooked it for their dad, who was 106 years old. Let's turn it down now. Gentle, 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 gentle. Let's take out the bay leaf. So they easily come out. It's done its job now, fragrance. So we can get rid of that. And then I'm going to use a little hand blender and just blitz up. So look, I've just blitzed like a quarter of it, okay? And what you get is this. You've got chunks, but also you've got smoothness and kind of comfort there as well. So a little bit of both. So at this point, we're going to have a little taste. Oh, have a think. God, it's good. Adjust your seasoning. And then I want it to be on a gentle heat here. So I'll turn that right down. And then we're going to go in with our eggs. And very simply, crack, and in it goes. And you're going to poach that egg in that soup. Then we've got tortillas. And we can toast these, we can put them on a griddle pan, or you can just put it on a gas hob, just to warm them through, okay? It takes seconds. So let's serve this up, this wonderful hearty dish. There's your egg, just like that. Couple of ladles of your soup, and then go in with the egg bomb on top. Boom. You want to add that flourish with this salsa. A little drizzle of olive oil. Right, let's have a little look at this egg. Just cut in there. Oh, yes. And then just chop it up. Get your tortilla. So good. We're going to make gorgeous Chinese-style steamed mushroom buns with gorgeous steamed greens. It's vegan, it's vegetarian, it's full of all the good stuff and really, really healthy. Sound good? Let's do it. We're going to start with dried mushrooms, Chinese-style. Cover those with a little boiling water. Let that rehydrate for just a couple of minutes, and it kind of gives like a kind of deep, brothy flavor that I absolutely love. So let's get cooking. We've got about 500 grams of chestnut mushrooms, but you really could use any mushrooms you can get. Mushrooms are a brilliant source of vitamin D and B. I'm just going to like literally rip them up. So we're going to start to dry fry those mushrooms. Then we go in with just a tablespoon of sesame oil. Ginger, just a thumb-sized piece. My thumb, not your thumb, my thumb. Slice up this ginger, definitely to my vegan vegetarian brothers. You know, this is vegan. This is happy cooking right here. Carry on tossing. And then I'm using coriander. Have the leaves for later. The stalks just finely chopped. Go in. Gorgeous. Look at that. Oh. I'll slice up these dried mushrooms. You can see they're nice and soft now. One little handful will make a lovely difference. Here, you've got this kind of little broth. Really, really big flavor. Don't worry about the moisture, because what we want to do is cook that lovely mushroom broth away. You can see it almost evaporating as we talk. See the little bubbles there? So here we are. We're cooking for about 4 minutes. So first up, a little rice wine vinegar. About a tablespoon. Gives it a little tang, and I like that. I like that a lot. And then a little seasoning, some light soy sauce. Have a nice little toss up. Turn the heat off. A couple of spring onions and chili. Add that to your own preference, okay? So that is our filling, guys. And you can see this happens in pretty much 5 minutes. Just run your knife through it. Next up, let's make these beautiful buns. This recipe I've developed is so, so simple. In a bowl, we're going to go in with 1 tin of coconut milk. This is a beautiful measurement. And I'm going to do a heaped tin of self-raising wholemeal flour, because I want it to be really sort of healthy, full of goodness. So the next one, regular white self-flour. So in we go. And then we want to lightly season this dough. Take a little fork. mix it around, and you will make a lovely little dough. It's going to be a little bit darker than your traditional one because of the whole wheat flour, but it will still be nice and light and fluffy. I'm going to roll it out to an even sausage. Cut it in half because we want to divide into 12. So we've got these lovely balls. They take no time to do at all. Stuffing them is quite simple. You just take one of your little buns, just pat it. You can stretch it a bit. It's quite forgiving. In the palm of your hand, you make a natural little dip. Nice 2 heaped spoons of these gorgeous filling goes in. It's really simple. It's not technical at all. Just bring up the sides and pinch it. Now remember, you have a raising agent in here, and as it cooks, it will sponge up. It will find its natural, smooth, gorgeous, sort of spherical shape. What I quite like to do is put it into these large muffin papers. Okay, it kind of does the job. So for a couple of minutes, I'm just going to do that, and then we can cook them. And there's the very last gorgeous little steamed bun. I have a wok here. I put about an inch of water in the bottom here. Turn that onto full whack. I want to get a celebration of greens going. We've got choy sum here. What I like to do is just bend it literally around our little steamer. You can put some lovely asparagus in, sprouting broccolis, purple broccolis. All of these veggies are super high in vitamin C, antioxidants, so good. So look, I'm going to put that on a high heat. Steam helps to save nutrients when you're cooking veggies. So those veggies, I only want to cook those for about 4.5 minutes, and then those buns, 12 minutes. It's beautiful. Time to serve up. I've got some lovely sweet chili sauce here, fresh chili there, toasted sesame seeds, spring onions, coriander. I've got some soy sauce here. I've got some hoisin. Just have fun. Look, one's burst open because it was so excited. We've got our lovely greens. Look at the colour there. Just still full of life. Look at this. Really beautiful. It's truly tasty. And even though we've got the whole wheat in there, it's a little heavier, but it's still soft and fluffy.
What's that? You guys want a baked bean recipe with barbecue flavors where you bring the barbecue indoors? Well, it is that time of year, food tubers. I'm DJ Barbecue. You ask and you shall receive. Barbecued baked beans. It's a tasty, healthy, rad dish. We've got vegetables, we've got flavors, we've got beans, we've got pulses, we've got all that awesome noise coming your way. In our foundations of flavor, we've got 2 chopped red onions, we've got 2 chopped whole carrots, 2 chopped cloves of garlic, and the all-important chili. Everybody say it with me. Chili! One more time. Chili! Okay, now we're gonna add a bit more flavor to our foundations of awesomeness. 1 level teaspoon of chili flakes. Leave out the chili if you want to. A level teaspoon of cumin seeds. Get in there, cumin seeds. A heaped teaspoon of paprika. And then we hit it with some olive oil and mix all those lovely flavors together. Let's have a party. Woo! So there's our lovely base flavors. So these go into the oven at 180 degrees for about 20 minutes until they turn soft. 350 degrees Fahrenheit for my friends over on the other side of Lake Atlantic. There you go. Have fun, little dudes. While those cats are cooking in the oven, I'm gonna prep our sweet potatoes. So we're gonna get 6 sweet potatoes rocking. So we're gonna hit them with some olive oil, sea salt, and pepper. And then we give them a lovely massage. Come here. Can we play like some, baby making music right now? While we massage our sweet potatoes. Make sure all that sweet, sweet love comes pouring out. Our sweet potatoes have been seasoned and massaged with olive oil, so we're gonna go into the oven for about an hour at the same temperature as the vegetables. And these guys get to come out, and that's what you wanna see. Nicely softened up, and these guys need the next layer of flavor. 2 cans of beans. You can use any beans, so get these guys in there, all go. We're gonna add a big old bottle of passata, 2 sprigs of rosemary, finely chopped. So stir up all those flavors, and now we bring the outdoors in with 100 milliliters of barbecue sauce. Now, you can use store-bought stuff, or you can make mine, or you can make Jamie's. Mine's a little bit better, but Jamie's is so good. 100 milliliters of barbecue sauce goes in. Smoky, sweet goodness. So the barbecue sauce, the beans, the passata or the chopped tomatoes, all those flavors with that chopped rosemary goes into our tray and goes back into the oven to join our 6 sweet potatoes until they are done. Remember, 180 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Woo! Ow! So in the meantime, I'm gonna do some popping and breakdancing for the next 45 minutes. Woo! Dang, it gets stuck sometimes. Come on. Whew. Hey, what's up, guys? All right, listen, I've got one more layer of rad flavor. You don't have to do this, but if you do, it's gonna take this thing to the upper atmospheres of rad deliciousness, and that is cheesy croutons. So we got our tray. You know, any kind of like leftover bread you got, make some croutons. So I'm only gonna use half this bad boy. All right, so we're gonna grab some olive oil, and we're gonna drizzle it on our bread. Woo! And now we wanna do about 40 grams of cheese. And we're gonna make it rain cheddar cheese. It's my favorite rain. So 40 grams onto our ripped up bread. So it goes in the oven. You guys need 20 more minutes and then you all become one. Get a room, food duties. So the beans, they just smell phenomenal. And the sweet potatoes are looking lush. We've also got the croutons. Oh man, there's a tear trickling down the side of my cheek because I'm so happy with these beans. Get down here, man. Look at these guys. I mean, all that kind of juice has reduced and intensified the flavors with that barbecue sauce. Man, there's those onions and that kind of spicy chilies have all embedded themselves into these beans. These are so good, but we're not done, man. We've got to add the sweet potatoes. Throw them in there. We're gonna give them a little bit of a smush, and then we're gonna add our croutons. That you can take to the table and you can serve it up and you can share it. Or say you just want a meal for one, right? So you grab yourself a plate, you grab yourself a sweet potato, you get a knife, and you go for the lightning bolt cut. Mush it up like that. You get a big spoonful of the beans, and we're gonna drizzle some yogurt on top. And you throw a couple of them croutons on the side there. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's get in there. Oh, wow. Those beans are so smoky and sweet and delicious with a tiny bit of a kick. Oh man, that is so good.
I'm Anna Jones and I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite ever breakfasts. It's bircher muesli. This is a dairy-free breakfast and it's warming and delicious and exactly what you need to get you going for the day. For this, I'm using almond milk, which is dairy-free, but you can use any milk you want. So I'm going to start with the oats. The oats are going to be the base of this. Everyone's got them in their cupboard. They're super cheap. I'm using rolled oats instead of the instant ones. The instant ones can be a bit more powdery, and we're going to soak these, so they're going to soften up a little bit. We're going to use about 100 grams, which is enough for 2 people. These little chia seeds are pretty amazing. They're really, really high in protein and they're packed with nutrients. So adding a couple of tablespoons of these to your breakfast will give you a massive protein boost and keep you full until lunchtime. These are pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are really high in iron. If you can't get hold of chia seeds, then you could just double up on the pumpkin seeds. And we're going to add just about a tablespoon. So the real beauty of this bircher is that you can actually just make it with whatever else you've got, and you can actually adapt this recipe to suit what you like to eat in the morning. And what we need to add next is a little bit of sweetness. I'm going to use maple syrup, a tablespoon here. Honey is the same as maple syrup. It's sweet, but it's better than adding a tablespoon of just plain refined sugar. A little bit of vanilla extract here. This is just going to add some warmth and some kind of depth and some heady spice to this. I love adding lemon zest to lots of things. You might think it's a bit of a weird thing to add at breakfast. They're refreshing, and I think having that in the morning is really, really nice. The next thing is some almond milk. You could use any milk you like here, really. I like almond milk because it adds a bit of extra protein, a bit of extra energy. I've got about 350 mils here, which is going to be the perfect amount to soak these oats. By soaking the oats and seeds overnight, we make this lovely creamy texture, but at the same time, we're actually speeding up the digestion process. So that's all ready to go. And you can really smell the vanilla and the zestiness of the lemon in here. So what I'm going to do is just cover this. I'm just going to use a plate. You could use some cling film or whatever, and I'm just going to pop it in the fridge overnight. This birch has been in the fridge overnight. You can see here that the oats have puffed up a bit. You can see that the chia seeds have kind of swollen up a bit in there, and it's lovely and creamy and thick. So I'm really happy with that. I'm just going to pop that here while I chop up a bit of fruit to go with it. I'm just going to do a couple of pears, but you can really use whatever's in season. Add a little pinch of cinnamon. I'm going to squeeze over a tiny little bit of lemon juice, and I'm also just going to add a few of these sour cherries. I always do this fresh on the morning I'm going to eat it. The bircher is brilliant to do overnight, so this is all the work done the night before, and then all you need to do in the morning is just chop up a little bit of fruit, or even throw some berries or dried fruit on top if you're really in a rush. Put the other half back in the fridge for tomorrow, because this birch is actually good for a couple of days. I'm going to top this off with a little bit of the pear and sour cherries. You know this is going to be absolutely delicious. And then to finish off, just a tiny bit more maple syrup. So here it is, my delicious overnight bircher muesli. It's packed with nutrition, it's full of energy, and it's completely delicious. So I'm just going to have, that is really, really good. It's zingy, it's lemony, I can taste the vanilla, the cinnamon on the pears, the sweetness from the maple syrup. That is really good.
We are going to do a beautiful, quick, delicious, nutritious dish. Gorgeous char grilled escalope of pork, amazing marinated new potatoes with beautiful super greens. It's a really gorgeous, healthy dish. I think you're going to love it. So let's do it. I've got some lovely free-range pork here. It's one of the more affordable, high welfare meats. It's low in saturated fat, which is good. It's quite lean. I want to show you a way of tenderizing the meat. So just get yourself a little bit of greaseproof paper. Just going to put this over like this. Give it a nice little bash up. It's tenderized it, and it's also allowed it to cook quicker. It's going to be great. I'm going to flavor it very simply. I am using my pestle and mortar. I'm going to go in with some thyme, but you could use rosemary or any other woody herb. I'm going to go in with a little salt and a little pepper. I've got a clove of garlic here as well, and I'm just going to bash that up. And then just a little olive oil, tablespoon. 4 little scrapes of lemon zest. So that we're just going to put onto our pork. Have a little bit of a rub up. That's mega flavor right there. Just a little portion there, very nice. Okay, next up. I've got some lovely new potatoes here, per person, sort of 4 or 5, about 100 grams. New potatoes are great. All the vitamin C is in the skin. So boil the water first and then plop those potatoes in. I've got a bunch of mint here. The stalks, that goes into the water. That starts to get absorbed in there straight away. Very, very nice. What I'm going to do, guys, is a really, really simple dressing. I only need literally half a lemon for this, and squeeze that into our bowl. This mint here, the center leaves are like kind of beautiful. They're more like a kind of salad leaf. Pick those out and then just rip the bigger leaves off, and I'll put them into the dressing. Half a chili, beautiful. And then just 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, pecorino, just literally 20 grams in there, and that'll season it instead of salt. Is going to be gorgeous. So let's talk about the beautiful veggies. I'm using frozen peas because they're picked and frozen so quickly, so they're full of nutrients, delicious. This is 80 grams of sprouting broccoli. That's 1 of your 5 a day. Then 80 grams of frozen peas goes in. That's 1 of your 5 a day. And your broad beans as well. We are looking good, guys. Here's the really cool thing about nutrition. Let's say the peas and broad beans. They're really high in vitamin K. Great for your bone health, nice strong bones, and really good for your blood health as well. Okay, they're fat-soluble nutrients. This is geeky, but wait for it. So a little bit of olive oil in the dressing that makes them taste delicious also helps you absorb more of that goodness. And then you've got vitamin C in the potatoes and the veggies as well, and that needs acid. The lemon juice helps you absorb more vitamin C. So basically what I'm telling you guys is a lovely dressing, in moderation, which this is, on your salad or your veggies is a really, really healthy, good thing, and it makes your food taste better. Boom. Now, this only needs 2 minutes cooking. I'm going to drain this. This griddle pan is nice and hot. We've got no oil on this griddle pan at all. Completely dry, okay? This is lightly oiled, okay? That's all you need. So we go in with our pork into the pan, push it down so it gets the benefits of those beautiful bar marks. Fantastic. That's going to take a minute each side. So I'm going to put my veggies into this bowl. I'm going to remove the mint stalks. That, my friends, as a salad in its own right, is a beautiful thing. Just dress them up now. Really, 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 really nice. Gorgeous colors. Just very, very beautiful. Now, we do not want to overcook this pork, okay? So now, look, have a look at this. We've got lovely charring there. We'll move it to the other side. 1 minute maximum. The pork is done. Look how juicy that still is. So we just lay that on top. And some of those lovely little mint leaves over the top. And then last but not least, we only put 20 grams of pecorino in to dress and season those veggies. So you can do a little bit over the top. The pecorino works so well with those lovely veggies. Look at that. Wowzers. Juicy, still charred. The mint, chili, pecorino, and the lemon just makes the pork work so well.
Hi guys, Donald here. I have a brilliant, quick, simple and healthy little recipe to keep you warm during these colder winter months. It's a corn chowder, it's very, very easy to make, and best of all, it is luscious, creamy and sweet. It starts off with cutting up some celery and some onion. Now, if you're looking for the recipe, it is on jamieoliver.com, so head over and check it out. Once you have that celery and onion chopped up, get a little drop of olive oil into a large pot. Little drop goes in, and once that's nice and warm, get your celery and your onions straight in there. You want to fry this off until it's nice, soft, and tender. But the extra dimension of flavor I'm going to add in here is a little bit of thyme leaves. And this will give you the most beautiful aromatic flavor and just really build the base flavors of this soup. It only takes a few ingredients to make something very, very simple, very healthy, and totally delicious. While that's frying off, I'm going to chop up my potato. Now, you can use a waxy or a floury potato here. It depends how you like the finish on your soup. But I'm using one that has a nice combination of the two. So I'm going to peel that up and give it a quick peel on the outside and then just chop it into cubes. In terms of size of the little cubes you're going to make, you just want small enough bite-sized pieces that make this a very hearty chowder. Very nice. Time to check on my onion and my celery, and it is looking and smelling very good. So at this point, it's time to make the creamy element of this wonderful soup. So in with a little bit of plain flour. And essentially, this is going to help to thicken this soup and give you a really kind of creamy and rich chowder. So stir that straight through. Now I'm using low-fat milk. Add that in, and the flour and the milk are going to act together and give you this wonderful, rich and creamy finish to the soup. Once that's nicely combined, grab up your potatoes and just chuck them straight in. You want to cook these potatoes for about 12 minutes, but you want them to be tender but not mushy. They need to be holding their shape. My potatoes are nearly cooked, so now it's time to chop up some spring onions nice and fine. Straight into the pot. It adds brilliant color in through that white mixture. And then for our lovely sweetness, a bit of sweet corn. Give that all a good stir through, and it is time to taste. So grab up a little bit of sweet corn, a little potato, some spring onion in there, and give it a taste. What is absolutely brilliant about this recipe is that you're taking just a few key little ingredients that are full of flavor, making something that is really healthy, and it results in the most delicious, hearty chowder that is sweet and luscious and creamy, all the things you want it to be. It is very, very easy to make. So now I'm going to serve it up into a bowl. Finish it off with some chopped chives and little Parmesan crisps for a bit of bite. It is a really simple and healthy recipe.
I won't be the one to say we're gonna leave it. It won't take too long. She's going in the evening. You chose it. You know that you have to see to believe that it's growing. It's starting to pull me apart. And now we're talking in the rain. Always happens after dark. You're saying that you lost again. Getting ready for the aftermath. Just a little bit of living and you get the love you're giving away. When the world stops spinning, you will get the love you're giving again. I won't be the one to say we're gonna leave it. It won't take too long. She's going in the evening. You chose it. You know that you have to see to believe that it's growing. It's starting to pull me apart.
Chief here, athlete, world champion free runner, and also a vegan. I spent a lot of time in Asia recently, and I like taking inspiration from different cultures into my vegan lifestyle when trying to create new recipes. And today, I've come up with a super easy Chinese noodle salad. We've got rice noodles, we've got mushrooms, spinach, as well as all your classic Asian flavors like ginger, garlic, chili, lime, the list goes on. This recipe serves about 4 people, 1 big bowl, everyone can tuck in. Let's get into it. Got 200 grams worth of rice noodles. You want to just cover that with water. You do this so they can be cooking while you're making the rest of the salad. Take a select mushrooms. We've got oyster and shiitake and a couple of the fancy looking ones. Want to slice them down. Mushrooms are a good source of vitamin B2, which is great for brain and nervous system. Buy any mushrooms you want, wherever you can get in the supermarket. The crazier looking, the better. I'm not going to cut these ones up. You can just tear them apart. These are gnocchi mushrooms as well, like nature's cheese string. Now that this bowl's full and there's not much room for anything else, you're ready with the mushroom. One long red chili, slice it down the middle, take the seeds out. 2 cloves of garlic, slice them up, nice and thin. In China, they use garlic and chili so rago on everything. Slice the chili nice and finely. Next, thumb of ginger. Peel it, just scrape it off the edge. Once you've done that, you want to cut it into small matchsticks. It might take you a while, but it's worth it. Once you've sliced the ginger, time to make matchsticks out of courgette. I'm going to cut it into 3 so it's a more manageable size. Don't worry about it being exactly the same size as your ginger because it's a soft vegetable. It's going to cook quickly anyway. Once your courgettes are matchsticked up, we're going to take 6 spring onions and slice them up. Save the dark green end later on for garnish. Next, you're going to grab half a bunch of coriander. I'm going to slice that up, stalks and all. I'm going to reserve the leaves for later, along with the tops of the green onions. That's your veg chopped up. You want to put your wok on a high heat, add a lug of oil once that's hot. We're going to take the mushrooms we cut up earlier, add them to the pan, let them soften. Now the mushrooms are soft, you want to add all your veg to the wok. Cook that off for a few minutes till your veg is soft and golden. Whilst your veg is frying off, we're going to make the sauce. 1 teaspoon of corn flour to help it thicken. Soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of low salt like the vegetables that we've used. About 1 tablespoon of agave syrup, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, half a tablespoon or a splash of rice wine. Finally, a splash of water. Veg is fried up. Now the sauce is added. Just want to bring it all together. Make sure all your veg coated up. While that's cooking, you're going to drain your rice noodles, give them a quick rinse under cold water, 100 grams of spinach, great source of iron, protein. I like to look to nature for answers with nutrition, and you look at gorillas, biggest, strongest animals in the jungle. They eat leafy greens all day, just like that. Add it to your rice noodles, add it to the pan. Tear in most of the remaining coriander leaves, save a few for the end, turn it over in the pan. Smelling great. Let's plate this up. I love the way the rice noodles are so white. You see the red chili, or the greens throughout, super healthy. Golden brown of the mushrooms, looking delightful. My stomach is ready for this. Just to finish off, sprinkle the tips of the spring onion and the remainder of the coriander leaves. Give it a lovely finish. And there you have it. Chinese noodle salad. Whack it in the middle of the table. Everyone can tuck in. You can change it up how you want, add whatever mushrooms or sauces on the end, but I like it just as it is. I'm gonna give it a try. Delicious. Those mushrooms add such a great texture, contrasting with the soft rice noodles and all the great Asian flavors you want as well.
Hi guys, hope you're well. Okay, we are doing jam jar salads. Something you can rustle together very, very quickly. Something portable. It could save you a load of money. This is the principle that in your working days at work, you could be only having delicious, healthy food. We want to have all the elements of a balanced plate. So also we want to get it there. You know, if you put the dressing at the top, it's going to make everything soggy. So there's a kind of order that we can do. Lovely, complex carbohydrates. Dressing and dairy, 2 or 3 of your 5 fruit and veg a day. Yes, this is good stuff. Proteins, we've got nuts. They're completely nutritionally balanced. We have an Italian one. We've got an Indian one here. Crunchy poppadoms at the top. Always crunchy things at the top and wet things like the dressing down at the bottom so it doesn't kind of go soggy. We want that. We've got a Moroccan one. All of these things that I'm going to talk about are under 600 calories. So I'm going to do a British-inspired one. Glass is beautiful. Also, you've got Tupperware and plastic stuff here. So first up, carbs. Now you can swap this out for rice, whole wheat couscous, pasta, you name it. About 75 grams of any carb. Pearl barley is great because it's very, very British. It's going to release energy nice and slowly, so it's going to keep you full up for longer. Next up, beets. These are raw. Just give them a wash, grate them. You get amazing color. The whole point of these jam jar salads is that it shouldn't take any more than about 3 minutes to put together. Just grab and go. So in with our beets at the bottom, so it's not going to color anything else underneath it other than the pearl barley. We need to do a dressing now. Extra virgin olive oil. Don't forget, it's 120 calories per tablespoon. Okay. Now, I know you're hearing that from me, who loves extra virgin olive oil, but then we're going to go 0 fat organic yogurt. 2 tablespoons. As it's 0 fat, it's kind of giving you the ability to use the extra virgin olive oil and a quality one at that. We want it to be purely beautiful and balanced and healthy. We want a pinch of salt and pepper, a nice heaped teaspoon of grated horseradish from the jar, a little squeeze of lemon juice, just to give it a nice little zing. It's really, really good. We could put a few more beets in there. Spinach, watercress, very, very British. Then we can go in with our protein. This is top side of beef, so it's really lean. About 70, 80 grams is perfect. A little bit more spinach and watercress, really pack that in. A lovely red apple, that will go brown. And a way to fix it is just a little squeeze of lemon juice and give it a little toss around. You can see even that little bit of beetroot. Look at how that's changed the color straight away. Pop it in, push it down. There we go. Walnuts are actually one of the kings of the nut world. 4 is all you need. Good for heart health. Sprinkle that on top. Okay, lovely people. So we have done my expression of a British jam jar salad. We've got fruit, we've got veg, we've got nuts. Let's make work lunches count. Let's get office envy up. What is your best combination? Hi guys, hope you're well. Okay, I'm going to give you